Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who have yet to make up your mind, it is the We Are You Morning Crew. I am George Daigle. My pronouns are, what time is dinner, child? And she is Simaya the Lioness Turner, and we are here ready to give it to you. The sizzling subjects and the trending topics, and there is one topic that we have got to talk about. Now, let's go back just a couple of days. Macy Gray was on the Piers Morgan show, and Piers Morgan has always been an anti-LGBTQ advocate. He has never made that a secret. He has been on that for a long time, but I think it's because he knows that speaking against the community brings him numbers and brings him views. Now, Macy Gray was a guest on his show, and I think he led her into a conversation that she was not fully ready to have and was not prepared to have. It happens. And I think that Macy Gray made some statements that she later regrets. I do believe that she has been an ally of the community, and even allies can misspeak. Their words can be taken out of context, and they can say things that they later wish they had said a different way. So speaking directly to Macy Gray, I believe that you made a mistake. But that does not take away the sting or the insult that the trans community felt from those words. So the only thing you have to say in your defense is, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it the way it said, and keep it pushing. We can take that. But what happened after is what we have a problem with. Because Macy Gray then came back and said, look, if you don't agree, you don't got to agree. Leave me the hell alone. Okay, Macy, I know you're mad. I know they're in your DMs. I know you're getting the threats. But again, you said something that people have a problem with. So as an adult, and as I'm sure you teach your kids, you have to take responsibility for those things. You can't be mad when people are mad at what you said, when you said what you said. All right, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a story. Now, moving forward from there are many people who jumped into the fray to the defense of Macy Gray. And as I have said in the voice of We Are You, to some people who are friends of the station, look, you don't have the right. I am not a transgender person, but I am an ally of it. And I do believe that I don't have the right as a cis gay man to tell someone that is transgender what they feel insults them. I do not have the right to tell them that you don't have the right to feel this way. Who am I to say, because you're a member of this community, I don't have the same experiences, I don't have none of that. So all of these people jumping in the fray have done that. And there's one person in particular that always seems to show up, and she is a friend of the station. I think she's a highly intelligent person. I think that she is a great asset. I think that she would out-talk me in a lot of public debates on politics and other things like that. But there are some times when her appearances are problematic to the entire community. And I'm speaking about the one and only Flame Monroe. Much love to you, my love. I do love you. But in this particular instance, I've got to call a thing. And this is what she had to say.
Good evening, everyone. My name is comedian Flame Monroe. I am a transgender woman or person, however you describe it. And this message is directly for Macy Gray. Macy Gray, I want to tell you, out the words of my mouth from my portion of the LGBTQIA+ community, that I wholeheartedly support you and thank you for seeing the real world for what it is. I do not believe that you are transphobic or homophobic or any other kind of phobic. I believe that you know science and biology, because here are the three things. Gender is a fact, identity is how you feel, and sexuality is your desire. And you are absolutely right, because until you have the heart and mind of a woman, I don't believe that you could ever possibly be a biological woman. Trans women are trans women. Trans men are trans men. Women are women, and men are men. It is as simple as that. There shouldn't be any argument about this.
Oh, I'm itching. I'm itching in my spirit. First of all, and I want to speak as a trans woman, because trans is an umbrella term that encompasses a wide variety of expressions. It's at this point it's being ghettoized, because anything that does not fit in the gender norm, anything that is not a stereotypical man or a stereotypical woman can claim can claim transness at this point. And what I feel is that Flame Monroe is not a trans person in the same way that I am a trans person. I can't speak. I don't want to ignore his identity. And I'm saying he here because he allows himself to go by male pronouns still. He takes that off and is a man when he goes home with his children. He navigates the world as a man. Let me be clear. Flame Monroe is not the same kind of trans as I am as a Black trans woman. And Flame Monroe does not get to tell me as a woman what hurts my feelings and what offends me. Flame Monroe does not get to define as a comedian what my identity is. Flame Monroe is just a community member who has dressed in drag for more than 20, 30 years and feels like because he has done that, he has the ability to speak on what I do 24/7, 365 for my life. It's not a game to me. And some of the things that were said and some of the things that he said are the very thing that people use to deny me privilege and access to the basic rights of humanity. Now, Flame Monroe is to me a problem. Flame Monroe is to me someone that takes up space in our community and it goes out of their way to make the trans community not only the butt of the joke, but the point on the end of your finger. When you yourself have not done anything to actually reach out to trans activism. As a matter of fact, you antagonize activism. You antagonize the work that we do by taking up space and choosing to insert yourself in a conversation that you are not a part of. Flame Monroe, you are a problem. You are problematic in this moment because you somehow feel that because you are adjacent to us, that you can speak for us, but similar is not same. You get in drag sometimes for comedic effect and to make an impact and make your joke stick. That is not the same thing as someone who lives 24/7, 365. And I do agree with some of what he said. I do believe that there is more to women than surgeries, and that is a deeper truth. But what that truth is conflated behind is the way the words are used. It's used to say women are something separate from trans women. And we're acknowledging that there are different types of women, but the gender role of women applies to both. And that is the misnomer here. Flame, you're dead wrong. Mind your business and stay in your playground. Mind the business that pays you.
Wow. I can't say it anymore, so I'm gonna leave those words from you right there. But we're gonna get into the post interview. After Flame made her initial statements, then she invited Macy Gray onto her live to then have Macy Gray explain, and that's questionable what her words were. And here's what she had to say.
So Flame, I didn't even. So when I said it in this. So just like a boy becomes a man, so a girl becomes a woman. I said it. What I meant was you have to mature to that part. You have to. It's like a graduation when you become a woman. Like you wouldn't call a 5-year-old little girl a woman. Right. She has parts, right? So that's actually what I was talking about. I was saying, you know, women have and when I said, like I said, it's a vibe, because it is. It's, you know, there's an energy when a woman's in the room. So I wasn't really excluding anyone except saying that you have to kind of earn that title, you know, to call yourself a woman. That's like a milestone, you know, it's like a bar mitzvah, you know what I mean? That's really what I was talking about.
Let's break that down just a little bit, because a woman, as Macy Gray just said, is a person who goes through experiences from the junior to the senior.
I agree.
And so a trans woman, and not because I'm just an ally of, but I just have a big brain, and it's not that hard to understand that a trans woman, and they use this word biological woman as this bomb. You're not a biological woman. Okay. Nobody said they were. I've never heard a transgender woman ever say, I'm a biological woman. Never have I ever.
Never ever.
Never ever. And never will you hear that. But they do say that they are women. And I agree with that. And so the experience is void of having a menstruation, void of maybe being born with a vagina, because that's still, again, we talked about the umbrella, void of being born with whatever you think makes a woman. Their experience from their identity makes them a woman. So the argument is really mute about what this whole biological versus, it is just angers me.
I agree. You know, there's a even in community, and so let me just be clear, even in community, there is conversation that it is entirely too easy for some people to claim all of the rights and privileges of womanhood. We are aware that there is a rite of passage that women go through to become women, regardless of what type of woman you are. And so as a community member, we're not even saying that it's okay that some people on their first day in transition call themselves a woman. We're not even saying that that is necessarily universally accepted and agreed on by all of us. Some of us have a problem with that as well. But what we do understand is that everyone should have access to the rites of passage of womanhood. And that those rites of passage in womanhood don't just apply to one type of woman. Because the truth is that when I transitioned at the first earliest available opportunity, before I became an adult, I then lived my entire adult life going through the rites of passage that every other woman goes through from childhood into adulthood. And so then my experience would not be very different from many people's experience about their young adulthood. Because when I left high school as a woman, you did too. And so we moved and transitioned together. So I think that is why we must be careful when we make the assumption that all trans people are just claiming this out of the blue. Some of us actually did have to go through rites of passage. And I think that that's important to acknowledge here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the debate continues on as many have voiced their opinions, and we'd love to know what you think. We're going to post this on our social media, and we need you to sound off. This is a continued conversation and a nuanced conversation that deserves more time. And of course, here on WERUradio, this is what we do. So tell us what you think. We've got more sizzling subjects and trending topics on the way. It is George. It is Simaya. Good morning.
Download the WERUradio app.
Turn it up loud.
Use the shout-out feature to talk directly to your favorite station. It's available on your app store. Search WERUradio, one word, today.